Ladies, you're beautiful no matter what, okay? It just makes me feel like a badass bitch. I got hair in my mouth. Ugh. Oh! Never mind. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maya Karinji. I live in New York City. I go to fashion school and I make occasional YouTube videos in my bedroom. Today I'm going to do a makeup tutorial. This is like my go-to full face of makeup. This is the makeup that I do when I want to feel pretty. I know that this is gonna be like a sort of foolproof look for me, something that's gonna make me feel good that I know I can do quickly because I've done it so many times. So be sure to subscribe to this channel down below. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram. Subscribe, please. Let's get into the video. Okay, so first I just had to like get my hair out of my face. I used like these clips. It looks kind of weird and ugly, but I don't care. Yeah, so first things first, I, as well as like pretty much everybody else in the world, I start out with face primer. I use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I just start out by pressing that into my pores. This is good if you have oily skin or just larger pores in general. For foundation, I've been really liking the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. It has SPF 15 in it. I've been really liking this. It's a very mattifying foundation, so if you have more drier skin, it's probably not going to be ideal for you, I'd say. But I just take one pump and then I dot that all over the center of my face. Okay, I'm trying to be cute with these clips, but it just doesn't look that cute. Okay, that looks way better. But yeah, so I dot that all over my face, and then I take a beauty sponge or like a beauty blender, any one that you have lying around, and I just start to blend that out by pressing it into my skin. I really like using a beauty blender for foundation because although it does soak up product, I think it does a really good job at making sure that your application isn't cakey, which is sometimes can be an issue for moi. I have one layer of foundation on, and then I'll take like another half a pump and use that as a spot concealer. So I will put that on any problem areas, any blemishes or like acne scars that I have going on. For example, I have definitely some scarring here around my chin and my mouth, and I'll just blend that out. Next, it's time to move on to your concealer. I have been using the LA Girl Pro Conceal. This is a really great concealer. It has so many different shades. It's a little bit thicker, so it's good for people who have more oily skin. It'll stay on well without being super cakey. So what I do is for my under eyes, I've been doing a new thing where like I try and use as little concealer as possible. So I'll only do one line. If you look at your dark circles underneath your eyes, there's kind of a point where they start. So I'll just put the concealer on the place where my dark circles kind of end, and then I'll blend it upwards. So you'll see what I mean. See, that was like way too much. I just put way too much on, but we'll fix it. I do use a mini beauty blender to blend out my under eye concealer, but it's totally not necessary. But what I do is I try and keep blending the concealer for the most part as low as possible along that line where the dark circle ends. And then once most of it gets blended out, I'll start to go more up towards my under eye. This helps me crease less. I have very creasy under eyes, so this method has helped me a lot in terms of creasing. And then I'll just blend the excess concealer around my nose because I can get a little bit of redness there, and then just like on my chin, whatever. So next we go to powder. For powder, I no longer set my entire face of makeup that I put on, especially with this specific foundation, the Bobbi Brown one. I find that it stays on, and you know, I'm still able to blend my bronzer and blush over top of it even if I don't set the whole thing with powder. So where I go in with powder is underneath my eyes just for like the creasing, and then I'll go on my chin and on the center of my forehead and then down my nose, and that's pretty much it. I don't touch the outsides of my face. One reason for that is it looks more natural to me. It sits on my skin better. But then another reason is when it wears off throughout the day, it actually wears off in a better, more natural manner, if that makes any sense. But the powder that I use is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. So I just take, you know, a little bit of powder and always tap off the excess. You can always add more, but you can never take it off. So I'll just make sure that my under eyes are very, very blended out. So next I'll go in with an eyeshadow base. I have oily eyelids, so I take my MAC paint pot and just use my ring finger just to dab a little bit on there. For me personally, I always have to set my eyelids because, again, they are very oily. I'm an oily girl. I'm a greasy mess. What can I say? So I just make sure there's no creases and then just put a little bit of that translucent powder on my eyelids. I am going to do my eyebrows very quickly off camera because I don't think that they are very good. I don't think anybody would want to know how to get the eyebrows that I have because they're not. It's no walk in the park here, people. Usually I do my bronzer and blush and stuff before I do my eyes, but I did a whole in-depth video about how I do my cheek routine, so I kind of want to get right to the point. What I do with my eyes is I first take my bronzer. I use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I just kind of use it as a transition shade. I'm just blending in circular motions, and I'm trying to deposit most of the product on the outer half of my eye and then into my crease. I've been using my Naked Basics palette. It's super old, but I really like it. And I take this like third darkest shade. It's called Naked 2. I take a more like defined, skinnier blending brush and I tap off the excess, and then I'll just do the same type of transition shade. Okay, so as I go through, I try and do my under eyes at the same time. So I'm taking whatever brush I did with my bronzer. And so then what I do with this more flattened brush is I'll mix the shade Naked 2 and Faint and tap off all the excess, and then I start out by putting it on the outer half of my eye and blending it in circular motions. And then I drag it into my crease. And so that adds like a nice amount of drama without being too smoky or extra. And I'll blend it out with the brush that I put on Naked 2 with. It's pretty sloppy here, like nothing's too defined. But every step of the way I go with pretty much any eyeshadow look is I just blend it out with each brush, never adding any additional color. Then I take the same mix of shades, the Naked 2 and Faint, on a smaller tapered brush and just put it on my under eyes as well. The darker I go in terms of like the shade, I don't bring it all the way into the inner corner. So I'm gonna take this darker shade and just bring it on the outer half of my under eye and drag it out. So this is really just tying the look all together, bringing it all together, making it all make sense. Next, I will take a flatter eyeshadow brush, something that you would maybe use with your lid color, and I mix the two light shades in the palette, Foxy and then Walk of Shame, and I very messily will put it on pretty much the inner half of my eye. And then for highlighting my brow bone, I mix all three of the lightest shades in the palette, put it on the very, very top of my brow bone. And I'm gonna take the darkest black shade in the palette, which is Crave, and I'm gonna basically put it on as sort of like a winged eyeliner. So what this does for me, honestly, is just adds a little bit of definition, darkens it up a little bit, but it's not too intense. It's a foolproof way to do any winged eyeliner. Also, anytime I do a black wing liquid liner, I always go in with eyeshadow beforehand, because that way I can map out the shape that I want to do, and then I have way easier time putting on that liquid liner, the felt tip liner, whatever it is. It's a lot easier to have that instant, you know, eyeshadow base before, because you kind of can see the direction that you want to go. So I just winged out the shadow a really like little bit. This is the only shade that I don't put on my lower lash line, because it will not look like eyeliner then. It'll look definitely more like eyeshadow. But yeah, it just kind of adds a little bit of definition, makes my eyes look bigger, adds some sort of doll-like effect to it. I will go in with any nude eyeliner and drag that into my waterline. I like using a nude versus a white because it looks more natural. Next, I go in with a glitter eyeliner. This is something that sometimes I'll do, sometimes I won't do, depending on how I'm feeling, what kind of outfit I have on. So I go in with a glitter eyeliner. The ones from NYX are really good. I love those, and I also have like a gold one that I would use. I just take the glitter eyeliner and put it right on the inner corner. And if I put too much on, I just kind of rub it out with my... This is like one of my favorite things to do on my eyes, is like any glitter liner on the inner corner. I just think it looks so pretty. So I pretty much just drag that from the very inner corners to the half of my under eye. So I'm gonna zoom you back out and show you the rest of the makeup. For mascara, I use the Bad Gal Bang Mascara by Benefit. What really helps zhuzh up my eyeballs is when I really focus on like my outer lashes, like the outer corners of my top lashes. And I also only do top lash mascara. Some people do both. It's honestly whatever floats your boat. Yes, so next on to bronzer. If you haven't already checked out my cheek routine, definitely check that video out. It's pretty good. It's very explanatory. I just go over how I bronze, contour, highlight, blush my entire face, and I have a lot of really great tips in that video for you to check out. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you have, check it out again. Hit the view button, give me a view, give me a subscribe, give me a like. Okay, now we're gonna bronze. I use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. If you have another good bronzer for me to check out that's cheap and inexpensive that I could totally afford, let me know. I love to talk about makeup. I love to keep the conversation going. I'm just gonna really messily and sloppily bronze all over my face. As you can see, I'm like pretty much putting it everywhere, but it doesn't look bad, does it? Like, I don't think it does. I will define my cheekbones with a darker bronzer, just like a darker matte bronzer. I like the Wet n Wild Dulce de Leche contour palette. That's a good one. And I just kind of treat it as a contour, but like not really. And I bring it onto my forehead. And I go on my nose and underneath my lip and then on my jawline. And I just blend that out with my bronzer bronzer brush without adding any product on it. Always blending upwards. And next, I go in with highlight. I've been asking people, please comment a good powder highlighter. Like, I've been asking for somebody to do that for me for a very long time. So please, if you have like a really good powdered highlighter that you really love, let me know. Because I've been looking for a new one and I want to try some new ones out. But right now, I'm using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Opal. And then for blush, I have been really loving the Pixie by Petra blush. It is in the shade Whisper Pink. It's just like natural baby pink colored blush, and I've been really loving it. And then to finish off, I set my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. This was like one of those really old products that everyone used to use, and I kind of like remembered it and I picked it up because I haven't been setting my whole face, so I think that this helps to keep all of my makeup on and not make me get super oily. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a couple spritz of this. And this is just gonna help keep my makeup in place all day. Just gotta wait for this to dry now. Oh, hold on, I need to finish off the look. So I always, for my lips, go in with a lip gloss, and if you haven't already seen my video on the Glossier lip gloss in red, check that one out. I think I'm at like 2,000 views or something on that.
That's fucking cool.
And also, I'm almost at 200 subscribers. Right now, I think I'm at like 185 subscribers. That's crazy. So thank you to whoever cares about what I'm posting on this channel. Thanks, I appreciate that. For my lip gloss, for my lips, sorry, the lip gloss looks kind of funky. It was sitting in my bag, but I go in with the Glossier lip gloss in red, and I just apply one coat of this. It just makes me feel like a badass bitch. So here's the finished makeup look. Nothing like too crazy, but this is just, I guess, my go-to full face of makeup. So when I want to look really good and feel really good about myself, but don't really want to think too much about it, this is kind of the go-to look that I would go for. I don't wear this on an everyday basis, but maybe, you know, if I have like a presentation for school.
I just have a crush that I want to impress one day.
Ladies, you're beautiful no matter what, okay? You are beautiful no matter what. You're beautiful with a pound of makeup on your face, but you're also beautiful with zilch, zippo, zappo, nothing on it, okay? Remember that. Let us all remember that. Hair in my mouth. Ugh. I hate that. That's the worst. Okay. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching it. If you got to this point, huzzah, congratulations, you made it. You made it all the way through. You're in the home stretch, baby. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Oh, never mind. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram. Comment below what your fucking favorite powder highlighter is, for God's sakes, because I need to know.
I need to know.
And yes, subscribe please to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Maya Kariji. I'll catch you guys on the flippity flip side. Peace out.